and I will serve as chair. Begin at 6 p.m. In consideration of others and the business conducted tonight, please silence your phones and any electronic devices and refrain from speaking unless recognized. If you are in attendance and wish to speak during public comment, speaker cards are located in the lobby area at the rear of the chamber. Please fill out a card and submit it to the recording admin before the close of the public comment. Again, this is a public meeting for the community of Glendora. We appreciate and respect your participation here this evening. Roll call. Can we get an oral roll call?
Thank you. At this time, I would like to conduct an oral roll call and request that each member respond with present when their name is called. Commissioner Kuyumjian?
Present.
Commissioner Louis Porcher?
Present.
Vice Chair Gerber?
Present.
Chair Sally?
Present.
Let the record show 4 members are present.
Pledge of Allegiance. Brittany, will you lead us? Pledge?
Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Reordering of and additions to the agenda. Does anyone wish to reorder or add anything to the agenda? No? No? Okay. Public comment. The public comment period is open. At this time, I'd like to invite members of the public to address the legislative body. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes, speaking once on both on and off-topic agenda items. If you are in attendance, please fill out a speaker card and submit it to the recording admin before the close of public comment period. Once recognized, speakers should advance to the podium, state your name, and the subject matter you wish to discuss. Do we have any public comment cards?
I haven't received any. Would anybody like to speak? Looks like we have none.
Okay. Then we will close the public comment period. Commissioner statements and reports. This time I'd like to invite commissioners to begin. Would you like to begin?
Sure. Just reporting on the Trails Council. The Trails Council did not meet in December, so I don't have a report to give on that regard. However, I do have the trails dates, the hikes, the Saturday hikes, and would just like to make an announcement in that regard. So Saturday, January 25th, is a hike at Little Dalton Canyon and Mystic Canyon. Saturday, February 22nd at 8 a.m. And all the hikes are at 8 a.m. It's at Colby and Colby-Dalton Trails. March 29th is at Big Dalton Canyon Trails. And then April 26th is at South Hills Wilderness Area. And May 31st is Little Dalton Canyon. And also a reminder for Trails Day. Trails Day is going to be April 5th, and that's going to be at Big Dalton Canyon this time at 8 a.m. It'll go from 8 to 12. We're looking for folks to come out and help and enjoy and have a hot dog after the day. So thank you, and that's it for my report.
Thank you. Brittany.
Well, at this time, we have no additional updates for the Multicultural Committee that we are expecting to have the event coming up again in May. So we'll be looking forward to updates on that. And then La Fecha Center, there are no updates at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. David?
Thank you for the teams for Glendora. Again, they were off for the Christmas holiday. We'll be resuming this month. Prior to that, they did a lot of canvassing at the middle and high schools trying to gain additional membership and just put the word out. So hopefully some of that will come to fruition in the next few months in the meetings ahead. And once we get back, I will have more of an update in regards to that. That's what I have for now.
Thank you. The Sports Council met this week, just to catch you up on what's going on with youth sports leagues. It's off-season for football, but they were celebrating 2 league championships, and their cheer team will be competing in Las Vegas next month. We'll hear a lot tonight from Pony League, so I won't take any of their thunder. But just the other baseball and softball leagues, American, National, and LASSI League, they're all ramping up for opening day coming first week of March. Registration for all three of those leagues is really strong, much stronger than what they've had in the last year or two. So they're growing quite well. Basketball is up and running. They've got 76 teams, and they're already in regular season play. They'll complete their league by March 1st. And soccer was not present to give a report, so I'll give you more on them next time. I know they are in the middle of like a regime change, getting a new league president in place. Okay, so I guess that'll conclude commissioner reports. Director, staff liaison, and attorney statements. Director Aguirre, do you have a statement?
Good evening, Chair and Commission. We have registration is ongoing right now. Our classes will begin in the next couple weeks for our winter-spring session. We have a Magic Mountain trip for grades 6th through 12th on Monday when school is out, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. The bus will leave from the Crather Teen and Family Center, and it's $50 per kid, and they'll go up there. And then we are having our 2025 Health and Wellness Fair held at the LaFetra Center. Will take place on Thursday, February 20th from 1 to 3 p.m. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Special items. Glendora Pony Colt Baseball Presentation. At this time, I would like to invite President of Pony Colt, Linda Denman, to report.
Do I have to use the microphone? I'm quite loud. Yes. I have to use it? Okay. All right. By way of introduction, my name is Linda Denman. I've had the honor of being with Glendora Pony Colt Baseball since the end of 2001. And from 2011 forward, I've had a leadership role with the league. I've put together a report that each of you have in following through with the PowerPoint that the city gave me so I could give as much information as possible. But wisely, I made notes because I have a tendency to ramble and go long. So I'm going to keep it as concise as I possibly can. At the end, my apologies, but my hearing is absolutely awful. So if you have questions, I'm probably not going to hear them. I'll start. Okay, by way of introduction, the presentation that I'm giving with the information that we gave you touches on the cornerstones of how the league developed and where it is today, as well as defining what success means to Glendora Pony Colt Baseball. If success is measured by tradition, Glendora Pony has served the city's youth continuously for more than 60 years. If success is measured by numbers, Glendora Pony is proud of the fact that over the past 3 years, 100% of eligible players have returned for a second season and beyond. If success is measured by preparing players for high school baseball, Glendora Pony is proud that statistically, we are meeting those goals represented by the high number of pony players who go on to make their high school teams. Our mission statement is simple: to provide a program for players of all levels of ability and ensure a safe, equitable, supportive, and competitive environment where rules are consistently applied and every player is valued. From that point, it goes to the PowerPoint, which starts with board members. I'd love to introduce Matt Kalikia, sitting came with me, one of our most valuable board members, because what makes a great board member is someone who's willing to give advice, input, and roll up their sleeves and do all the grunt work that's involved in taking care of the field, and that man's extraordinary. It's important to note, and you have the board members in front of you, it's important to note that board members may not have children currently playing in the league. This ensures that all decisions are made based on what's best for every single player. Collectively, the board represents a wealth of baseball knowledge and experience critical to the league's ongoing development. In the report, you'll see a brief bio on every single member. It's impossible to overstate how critically important it is to have a group of dedicated individuals who willingly donate hundreds of hours just to make the league the best it can be for the kids. The next section was league history. In compiling the league history, my history with the league, of course, starts in 2001, but I was well acquainted with the president at that time, and he began overseeing the league in 1995, so I had a good sense of that period of time from them moving forward. But what I've presented in the report is just a small fraction of the history of the league, and in part thanks to the recollections of Mark Whitworth and Ray Bundy. Many of you will know Mark Whitworth. He and Sonia Whitworth were an important part of this city for all sports programs for an extended period of time. Ray Bundy is still serving the city as the assistant varsity high school coach over at Glendora. It's very important to understand that the physical development of the league, and in fact all the baseball leagues, was at the hands of dedicated volunteers and community support. The fields themselves, fencing, and buildings were all developed and constructed privately through donations. It's equally important to know that the city worked hand in hand with the leagues, providing yearly grants for permanent improvements. These grants were critical, and the loss was significant when they began to diminish, and eventually they disappeared. The report also touches on all-star successes, and it's important to note here that Glendora Pony is part of East Region of Pony Baseball, which is a thriving organization. In our East Region alone, there are 400 pony teams. The report also talks about the varsity tournament, the preseason varsity tournament, which many of you will remember. It had a 35-year history in this city. It ended in 2011. It's impossible to convey what a huge baseball and community event that tournament was. It brought out scouts from every Major League Baseball team. It brought out crowds of upwards of 1,000 people. The energy up at the field was amazing. There's a lot more in what I gave you about the history, but I tried to keep it concise. Seasonal play. Our program, including the Spring Pony Program, Summer Colt Palomino Program, Fall Skills and Drills Program with Azusa Pacific University's baseball program, and Fall Wood Bat Program run virtually year-round now. The months of August and December are critical for the rest and rejuvenation of the field and to make necessary repairs and improvements. It's also really important to note, and a lot of people don't realize, that we share the field with Glendora High School's baseball program. That program uses the field for preseason games and practices, CIF games, and their newly instituted fall program. In 2024, Glendora High School had over 35 games and multiple practices at Henderson Field, and the high school always has priority of the field. We can build our program, they build their program. If they have a rain out, we happily step aside because theirs is the most important program on that field. Glendora Pony and Glendora High School baseball share a close and positive relationship, and Glendora Pony has mowed, prepped, operated a snack bar, and maintained the restroom facilities for all high school activities for more than 25 years. Glendora Pony has also absorbed the cost of all materials as part of our symbiotic relationship with the school district. Operating costs. Included, this is going to be brief, my summary, because you just have a whole lot of numbers there, listed numbers. Included is a breakdown of the costs involved in running the league. As noted in miscellaneous, it does not include the inevitable unforeseen expenses that fluctuate year to year. So while most of it is very comprehensive and year to year there's very little change in those numbers, under miscellaneous, anything from replacing a lawnmower to repairing the scoreboard. This year, a branch fell and took the fence down, we repaired that. You can't anticipate those costs. All you can anticipate is that something will come up every year. Charitable work. This one, I'm going to be very brief, but I hope that you will read through carefully. We are so proud of everything we do at the field in terms of lending a helping hand to others. Overseeing the league is an honor, but equally important is a personal passion for the league's continued dedication to fundraising for the community. Some are single events, and some, like our City of Hope blood drives and pediatric donations, are ongoing every year. Our participation in work with the Vega family in keeping their son Chris's memory alive and building his legacy has come to form the very heart and soul of our program. I skipped over one thing, going back to the history of our league. David was part of this. In 2019, we brought a team from Japan over, and we hosted what we called the Friendship Games. It was a collaboration between Glendora Pony, Glendora American Little League, and Ariake Baseball League in Saga, Japan. It was an incredible event for the coming together of different communities, and what those kids experiences, their takeaway was phenomenal. It was just an amazing moment. I brought pictures, if any of you would like to look at them. That's really basically it. Hopefully it gives you an overview and a general understanding of the history and the function of Glendora Pony Colt Baseball. And that's me. Thank you. Okay. Oh, I do have one last thing. I brought, if you want it, in 2017, Time Magazine ran a very comprehensive article, not on travel baseball, but on travel sports. It's a fascinating article. It contains so much information, so many facts and figures. Everybody's takeaway from the article, I absolutely am sure, is different, but my takeaway from this article is not, and I'm not against travel sports in any way at all, but my takeaway was the incredible importance of community sports programs. Travel sports will always provide an option for those who can afford it and those who prefer it, those who choose to do it. It can't replace the vitally important role that cities play in providing excellent and affordable sports programs for everyone in their community. And somehow I skipped past that. And I do have those for you, and I'll give you those.
Just want to test if you can hear me okay. Can you hear me okay?
I'm going to try.
Okay. First thing, I want to comment on something that's not necessarily directly about this, more so about your ability to explain and share the history of the program with us. You're an excellent writer. If you wrote all of that yourself, it was phenomenal. And as a parent who has participated in the program with my children there, I can attest to everything that you've said. It has built community, and it has provided a foundation for the sport of baseball for our children that they will never forget, and my garage will never forgive us for, because we still have all the stuff. So
I really appreciate that. I need to do it this way because I have a tendency, what I do is my passion up there. And if I don't rein myself in, you will be here for 3-4 hours while I go off on tangents and really not answer any of the specific areas that you may be interested in, but I love so much what I do. In terms of putting it together, it helps to have a daughter who has a PhD. I hand it all, and that's a plug for my daughter who just finished that this year. But I hand it all to her and say, make it look good. So I appreciate, and I'll pass that on to her.
Excellent.
Yeah, I too want to make a comment. I commend you on this report. It's excellent. Thank you so much. And I see you've been president since 2013? 11. Oh, 11? I thought,
Well, yeah, 2013, right.
right, I don't know, that's what I saw,
It's
but,
a question I'm not going to hear.
No,
It's
no.
a compliment, I
But are you-
appreciate it,
yes.
and won't make you repeat it.
but are you still enjoying it? Are you still enjoying?
Oh, my gosh. Every moment, and I will tell you very honestly, every year, I think maybe I am close to saying, time to call it a day. And then without fail, every single year, starts with the fall program. When the kids come up from Little League, I fall in love with the boys. And I tell myself, okay, not until these boys are finished. But to give you context for that, in 2010, I remember vividly, our all-star team did particularly well that year. And we were sitting down at Whittier because they were playing for zone, for a chance to go to the World Series. Bruce Hunt, who is still with us, who is currently the JV coach at Glendora High School as well, he coached the team. His oldest son, Brad, was playing. His young son, Brett, was sitting next to me. In fact, we were doing sticker books for Toy Story as we were watching the game. And he asked me to pinky promise him that I would wait for him. Well, at that time, he was very young, and he was only coming into the league in 2018. I told myself, you have to. You pinky promised him, you have to stay. I would have sworn by the time he finished 2019 that it was time for me to step away. It wasn't. Until someone boots me out or I die on the field, I'm staying. I absolutely love what I do.
I wish
love
you all the
what I
best,
do.
and many more years to
And
come.
some people think that I've been called all kinds of things. Probably why I don't get hearing aids, because why do I want to hear?
Right.
But some people think that I have blinkers on, that I'm not open to anything around, that I'm stuck in a not at all. If the kids are at the field, whether it's a practice or a game, whether it's the high school, whether it's Pony, whether it's the older Pony Colt program, I'm literally there every single moment. It's because I choose to, not because I have to, but I want to, and I love it. But it's important I'm accessible to everyone and anyone willing to come and have a conversation to my face. I will sit down and talk all day long about what we do and why we do it. And not everyone will agree with how we run our program, nor might we necessarily agree with how someone else runs a program, but there's a reason. For every single thing we do, there's a reason. And if someone doesn't understand us or thinks we're doing it all the wrong way, come sit and talk with us, and we'll tell you why. But as I said earlier, if you look at our board members, and later, please do read through, these men have so much baseball experience. This is not something, people think I do this alone. I do the field maintenance because that's my happy place. You put me out on that mower, I can't be anywhere else. I can't do anything else. What a lovely thing in that setting. What a lovely thing. But I'm not one person up there. I'm at the front and I'm very visible, but I'm far from one person making the decisions for Glendora Pony Baseball.
Right. Thank you.
See, this is what happens. when we talk.
I'll keep my comments brief because
But I
can,
might
like
not be.
yourself, I could talk for hours. I've known you for over 15 to 17 years.
long
when,
time. Yes.
My oldest son participated in Pony, and that was back in 2007. And then all the way through being the president of the neighboring league and working through the whole Japan process. The one thing I can tell you is that one of the reasons that you're here is because I think myself and the commission, we want to hear from the leagues. We want to understand the leagues. We want to know more about the leagues and what you do and how you do it and what your challenges are, what your successes are. That's not readily known. Everything is in a vacuum. Pony is considered pony, and some people have their perceptions and other people have other perceptions. And I think it's important to bring to light what really is the facts. And the facts are that you are consistent. You have been consistent. Nothing has changed in the last 20 years. You have brought community. You have looked for everything and anyone who wanted to play baseball, whether they are the top-level stars to those that are still learning how to play baseball at the age of 14 and just want to come out and play. You spend more time at that field than probably you do at your home because, as you said, you love it and not because you're getting paid for it. And I think it's imperative that we as a community understand these facts. And this report is amazing. I wish that more and more people could understand it and see it so that they would not have an aspect of their own, they can make up their own minds, not being told what to think or rumors that are spread and other things, because in a world of agendas, there is no agenda at Pony Baseball. Pony Baseball is open for everybody, and I can honestly say and attest to that. So this is perfect. You did an amazing job. You continue to do an amazing job. And then lastly, what I'm going to say is you put it at the very end. It should be at the very beginning, but your charitable work. Not only do you run a league for boys and men and girls if they ever chose to want to participate, you give them a place to hang out and be a part of, and they come back years and years later and visit you and you know them by name. But the charitable work that you do for this community without being asked, because that's who you are, is undefined, and no one knows about it other than those that participate in it or have seen it. And I know to my left, Mr. Sally can be an honest testament to this because of his nephew, and who is every year you do a blood drive for that fact. And to me, that's what community is about. And I hope you stick around for as long as you can. But pursuant to that, is there a succession plan?
Pardon?
Is there a succession plan for you at some point? Have you ever thought about that? And if so,
Absolutely. There are a couple of people on the board that, I'm not going to name names.
No,
There's a person,
you don't need to.
There's a person on the board that perhaps would, if I held the keys out, would take the keys. Foolish or not, he might take the key. However, he's ill-equipped to handle, it's hard to word it in a way that doesn't sound, I'm not patting myself particularly in the back.
No, the only thing that I would
but
say,
you
Linda.
face a lot of pushback in these positions. You know,
I do.
You're
And
president for 2 years.
So I'm going to
Get-
stop you for just a second, because the reason I asked for that is because of how successful you have built this to. We would want it to continue to rise.
Absolutely,
So
and I would
the
not
hope
leave
would
this,
be
absolutely.
that we would be able to find somebody that would be willing to step in and do the things that you have continued to do over the years without there being a loss
Absolutely,
there.
and I
So-
won't leave the program until I have that person ready to take the keys. What Glendora Pony Colt Baseball has become, to my mind, is very important. It's very difficult to stay the course. You get all kinds of pressure from all kinds of people, and sometimes it comes in the form of seemingly positive pressure. Sometimes they don't even try to disguise it, and it's a whole heap of negativity. And it's very hard not to bend. And when you bend,
That's the consistency that I was speaking of.
which is why I surround myself with so many knowledgeable board members, because it gives us the flexibility to make changes as changes need to be made, but we can withstand that pressure to become something that suits one person or one group in that moment until their kids move on and they simply leave it behind. You know, a key part of the thing is consistency. If you're going to have rules, you have to apply the rules, and you have to apply them consistently. I'm the gatekeeper up there, and most people probably are not happy about that, but I would hope the school district and the city are. There are no exceptions. If you allow one exception, you would have to allow all exceptions, because why would one be more special than another? Therefore, you make no exceptions. This is a high school field, and we take that responsibility to heart.
No.
And the
it's-
moment you go beyond, if you read through the extensiveness of the programs already on the field, if you were to open it beyond that, you will have a dirt pit. It will be simply impossible, despite multiple people's promises of what they will do. They pick up and they walk away. And what you're left with is having to try to salvage a field that gets tremendous amounts of play over the course of every 12 months. But I will not leave until there is someone who embraces the mission statement, because the mission statement is simply that we're here for every single child in the community. Ability doesn't matter. You are as valuable to us if you're sitting 12th man on the roster as if you're the #1 starter on a team. Everybody is equally important within the league's baseball. And that has a wonderful way of playing out where the stronger players become mentors for the players with less ability, but they embrace them. They don't push them off to the edge of the bench and complain, how come I'm not playing all 7 innings? It's a wonderful thing up there. It's a magical place in terms of the sense of camaraderie that develops amongst all the teams. And the Skills and Drills program, which came in on the heels of COVID, that was our silver lining. APU approached us. They needed a place for their players to get service hours. We needed to come back from COVID in there were a great many guidelines that we needed to adhere to, and so we developed a program hand in glove, and it's during that fall program that our kids all get to know each other. And to watch them out on the field as kids coming up from Little League, that field is intimidating. It's a big field. And you have the returning players figuratively taking their hand and saying, going to be okay, because it's going to be fun.
Yeah, no.
And it's fun.
amazing.
And if it's not fun, I tell each and every parent and each and every player, tell me. If we need to fix something, we need to fix something. But we can't fix it unless you tell us.
Thank you. It's a great report. Great to hear.
Thank you. While I don't have any kids in the league, I've been there a few times, and I can tell that it's more than just a baseball league. It's a community, and sorry, what you and your team have put together, it's just wonderful, and I just wish you all the success, and thank you for all you've done. So,
Okay, I'm going to tell one more story, and then I promise I'll leave because you have a meeting. But since Steve spoke, and I'm not even going to remember the year, but it was Donovan Holmes' 14th year. He was an all-star player. Donovan is Steve's nephew. And a player, Chandler Duffy, hit a line drive over the fence. I've only ever seen it once since then, but that ball found the cheek of Steve's niece, Olivia, who was Donovan's sister, over the fence. Urban legend, if anyone knows Todd Holmes, he was coaching first base. He somehow cleared the fence. I do not know how. It's, what is it, a 5-foot fence at least, because he saw his daughter go down. Thankfully, Olivia was okay. But afterwards, because we were still in the middle of an all-star tournament, we brought in, someone pitched a huge tent. And we told the kids, watch the game from the tent because you're safe. And your daughters were among those who were inside that tent, and they were just little girls. And that's the magic of what we do. The fact that my memories go so far back with so many kids who are now adults, who bring their children back when they see the lights on. It's like a beacon. And they all say the same thing, and someday I'm going to disappoint them, but they all say the same thing. We knew you'd be here. And at some point I won't, but then I won't know.
Thank you for all you've done.
And now I'll leave you to it.
Okay. Next item on the list, Shining Star presentation. At this time, I would like to invite Office Assistant Amanda Sisha to present.
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. Today, I am excited to announce the recipient of the Recreation and Human Services Shining Star Award. This award recognizes an employee who has gone above and beyond, consistently showing excellence in everything that they do. Tonight, I'm thrilled to shine a well-deserved spotlight on someone who truly deserves it. Her dedication to our community, her work ethic, and her impact on our residents are nothing short of remarkable. She's also inspired myself to continually strive for excellence, especially when serving the public. Over the past 7 years, Kelsey Fay, who is our shining star, if you want to come up here. Kelsey and Noah. Kelsey has made a lasting difference working for the city of Glendora, starting as a part-time office aide in transportation. She quickly moved up, becoming a full-time admin assistant, and then in just 6 months later, she stepped into the role of management analyst. Some of her standout accomplishments include securing a $1 million grant for the South Hills Bike Park project, leading the Finkbeiner Park Playground remodel and resurfacing project, overseeing the Pompey Shade Structures project from the initial bids to its completion, managing the resurfacing at Willow Springs, Ole Hammer, and South Hills Park, which has now been completed. And I know that there is still so much more to come from her. Kelsey's attention to detail, especially in budget management, is exceptional. And if you've ever worked with her, you know that she has a photographic memory. I don't know how she does it, but it helps her become a professional at everything she does. Kelsey, your passion, dedication, and caring nature inspire all of us to do better every day. Thank you for everything that you do. So if everyone could please join me in congratulating Kelsey as the Shining Star. We're going to take a picture up there.
You need to go up there. Me? Yeah, all of you. John, you too. Megan, you too. Yes, give me your phone. Give me your phone. Come on, you gotta go up there. All right, you guys ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, ready?
Oh, sorry. I'll just say something really quick. Just thank you for presenting me with this award, and I feel really appreciated and glad to be working in this department. All my coworkers definitely helped me to strive for excellence and to be better. We are known as the fun department, so it's definitely nice to work with people who make you happy to come to work every day. And yeah, so thank you, John, for all your encouragement. Thank you, Amanda, for all your kind words. And thank you, everyone.
All right, consent calendar. Items on the consent calendar will be enacted by one motion without individual discussion unless the commissioner has requested it to be removed for separate discussion. Does anyone wish to pull or comment on an item number 4? Then can we get a motion to accept?
I motion to accept.
I'll second it.
We have a motion made by Commissioner Louis Porche, seconded by Vice Chair Gerber. I'll now conduct an oral roll call. Commissioner Kuyumjian,
Yes?
Commissioner Louis Porche,
Yes.
Vice Chair Gerber,
Yes.
Chair Sally.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Unfinished business. South Hills Bike Park update. At this time, I would like to invite management analyst and shining star, Kelsey Fay, to report.
Yes. Okay. So good evening, Chair and Commission. So tonight I'll be presenting the South Hills Bike Park update. Some of this you've heard before, so some of it might sound a little repetitive, but then there are some updates. So in December of 2022, the city contracted with Avid Trails to complete a conceptual design, which was completed in May of 2023. The design allowed the city to apply for a grant through the Office of Grants and Local Services Land and Water Conservation Fund. We then contracted with the same designer to further the design process and get a schematic design, which was completed in May of 2024. For this part of the design, we also contracted with GIS surveyors, a geospatial firm, to conduct a comprehensive land survey of South Hills to further the information for the design. The agreement for the remainder of the design work to take it all the way to construction documents was approved by City Council on August 27th of 2024, and we'll use that completed design to bid the project for construction. And that is anticipated to be completed February of 2025, pending comments from the city. So as we were working on the initial conceptual design for this project, the opportunity to apply for the Land and Water Conservation Fund grant administered through the Office of Grants and Local Services came up. We immediately took steps to apply and submitted the application in May of 2023. The design that we had from Avid Trails was crucial in making the application as strong as possible. Thanks to their expertise, we were able to submit a compelling proposal complete with a detailed design and a clear vision for the project. The city was notified in December of 2023 that we had been selected as one of the 16 other park projects to move forward with post-selection federal requirements. The proposed grant award is for $1 million for the project that's expected to cost $2 million. One of the post-selection federal requirements included a grant boundary map that shows the park area that will be protected in perpetuity for outdoor recreation purposes. Avid Trails has already provided us with a map that's been approved by the Office of Grants and Local Services. Another post-selection federal requirement is Section 106 of the National Historic Preservation Act. Section 106 mandates that we identify and assess the potential impacts of our project on historic properties, ensuring that we consider and respect the cultural heritage of the area. To navigate this complex process, we've contracted with Duke Cultural Resources Management as our consultant. Duke is responsible for preparing all necessary Section 106 documentation, which includes creating an area of potential effect map, researching known archaeological and historic resources, reviewing prior cultural resource studies, consulting with local Native American groups, and conducting a comprehensive field survey. I've been going back and forth with the Office of Grants and Local Services on the report submitted for Section 106 study with minor changes and updates. The report has now been submitted to the State Historic Preservation Office for review, and we are now awaiting comments back from them. The last post-election federal requirement is an updated application and revision form. This form allows for the city to go into more detail and specifics on the project, and for the Office of Grants and Local Services to understand the project more in depth. I'm working very closely with OGLE staff on that form, and we're currently waiting for comments back from them on that as well. As we progress with this project, we've taken steps to comply with the California Environmental Quality Act, or CEQA, which is required due to the project size and the necessity of a general plan amendment. To gather the critical information needed for CEQA, we've enlisted the expertise of Alta Planning and Design for preliminary engineering and IMEG Corporation for geotechnical services from the city's master on-call list. Alta Planning and Design is tasked with the preliminary engineering work, which includes key elements such as conceptual grading, drainage design, and low-impact development studies for hydrology and water quality. This work is fundamental in assessing the project's environmental impact. Reports have been submitted by Alta, and city staff are reviewing to provide comments and changes. At the same time, IMEG Corporation is conducting a geotechnical investigation focusing on subsurface conditions, including soil composition, groundwater levels, and seismicity. These assessments are vital for understanding the site stability and ensuring it's suitable for the proposed development. IMEG has submitted a draft report that staff is now reviewing. The report does state that with all the studies performed, they found that the site can be developed as proposed. We issued a request for proposals to the city's pre-qualified CEQA consultants. We received 3 proposals and had chosen PlaceWorks Incorporated to guide us through the CEQA process. It's anticipated that this project will result in a mitigated negative declaration. This indicates that while the project may have some environmental impacts, these can be mitigated to a level where they're not considered significant. The CEQA process typically takes about 8 to 10 months to complete, and we'll be working closely with PlaceWorks to ensure the timeline is followed. Simultaneously, we'll be conducting a zone change and a general plan amendment, as some of the parcels within the project area require rezoning, and a land use amendment is necessary for the general plan. Both the conceptual and the schematic designs, as well as the land survey for the bike park, have been completed. Design development is 90% complete, and then they'll move on to begin the construction documents. Section 106 review is just about complete. We've received feedback from one tribe to let us know that they do want to monitor the area during construction to ensure that there are no tribal artifacts being disturbed. Preliminary engineering and geotechnical assessments are almost complete. Like I said earlier, documents have been submitted to the city for review from both consultants, and staff are working to provide comments and revisions. The CEQA consultant agreement was approved by City Council in September of 2024, and we're working with PlaceWorks and have been providing studies to them that we've received to assist them in the CEQA review. We're aiming to release a notice inviting bids for construction by May of 2025, with the goal of beginning construction in September of 2025. These timelines are contingent on several factors, including the timely completion of all studies and the official awarding of the grant from National Park Service. If everything proceeds as planned, we hope to receive the official grant award by May or June of 2025, allowing us to stay on track for the project's construction. Currently, we've spent $532,018 on design and studies that needed to make this project construction ready. At this time, construction is anticipated to cost $1.5 million, but we will not know for sure until we go out to bid for construction. And that concludes my report, and I'm available for any questions.
What's the completion time if we start September breaking ground, right? They want to use this also potentially for the Olympics? No?
No.
Not use it as but like a training, not even a training facility or a practice facility? I thought that was a conversation. No, okay.
No.
So then there's no timeline to try and meet an event. So what would be the timeline that this would be completed?
So once a contract is awarded and they start construction, they said about 4 to 5 months.
Really?
Build it, yeah. And then a little longer for the actual I didn't bring it up so much in this presentation, but we're still planning to do the 6-mile-long cross-country trail throughout South Hills. That one, they said, could take up to 12 months, but it would be like the core of the bike park would get built first, and then they would continue on to do that.
So realistically, this time next year, if everything goes according to plan.
Hopefully, yes.
Wow.
That's our
okay.
goal.
That's a lot sooner than I thought was originally scheduled, but that's amazing.
That's just the bike park,
Just
not
the
Right.
bike park, yes.
not the trails.
No, but the bike park, which is something that is new and different and would be functional to be used come spring of 2026, I think that's awesome.
And the bike part could be used while construction's going on for the rest?
Yes.
Okay. No, this is amazing, and the amount of work that seems to be going into it just to bring it to fruition is beyond, it seems like, but kudos to you guys staying the course. That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
The federal funding, that's, we'd hear that
We're hoping by May.
May,
So it just kind of depends on when we can submit everything to them
all
because,
the studies.
yeah. So the CEQA has to be completely done before they can officially award it. So everything's kind of dependent on when we get that finished.
And then with Section 106, when they come back with comments, I mean, is there a period for revisions, or is it just, this is what it is and that's it? Or is there,
It just kind of
time to
depends
mitigate.
what the revision is or what their comment is. And then if it's something we can address right away, then it can be quick, but it just depends on what they might say.
and were you confident about the funding?
Yeah,
All right, good. All right. Thank you.
of course.
Do you have anything?
Oh, just as always, Kelsey, great report. I'm excited for the development. I know that all of the kids around here can't wait. I do think that it'll increase our property value too, if I'm not mistaken, just based off of this wonderful upgrade to our community. So I think there's a lot to be gained here.
Thank you.
Thanks.
After we redid Pompeii, we increased staffing for that area. Is there a need, or have we thought about if there'd be a component of staffing around this new facility?
We talked about it a little bit, but we don't think it'll be needed per se because it's just going to be kind of like one of our other parks. Since there will be restrooms up there, we will need to have a service go up and clean it and replace toilet paper and all that stuff. And then it will be kind of like Big Dalton where it'll be locked in the evening, so it'll be only open during daytime hours.
The bathroom,
The park
the
itself.
whole park?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a gate up there? Or is
Yes, so there is already a gate at there. Yes.
Yeah, it will be run a lot like our skate park,
okay.
where you're riding at your own risk. And that's what our signs will say is you're at your own risk,
Right.
that it's a hazardous sport. Kels, can you also touch on when the grant might open for us to put the CEQA or whatever? It only opens certain times of the year.
Yeah, so there are certain submittal times, and right now I asked the Office of Grants and Local Services when their next submittal time is. They don't have an exact date. When it opens, they let us know. So they guessed it would be around May, June, so that's what we're shooting for. Yeah.
And just one more question about the actual park itself. Is there any artificial lighting?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Anything else?
Just that with the 6 Mile Loop, that's obviously along trail paths. So there's no way to mitigate people going up there. So it's going to be like hikers basically. And so they could go down to the pump tracks, but signage is going to be important.
Yes, that's part of what we're contracting with too. In design, they're going to help design signs for us to put throughout the trails to kind of let people know, hey, this one might be bike only, or this one's multi-use, this one's hiking only, so that everyone knows kind of what they can go on and what they can't.
Great, thank you.
Thanks very much. Can we get a motion to accept the report?
I'll make a motion.
I'll go ahead and second.
So we have a motion made by Commissioner Kayumjian, seconded by Vice Chair Gerber. I'll conduct an oral roll call. Commissioner Kayumjian,
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis Porche,
Yes.
Vice Chair Gerber,
Yes.
Chair Sally.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Fink Minor Park Stormwater Capture Project Update. At this time, I'd like to re-invite Kelsey Fay.
Back again. Okay, so now I'll be reporting on an update on the Fink Minor Park Stormwater Capture Project. So the primary focus of this project is to improve stormwater management and contribute to environmental sustainability. Currently, we're in the design stage. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. It's pretty much finished, but that includes conducting site assessments, geotechnical investigations, and detailed design work. The environmental review is underway with the CEQA draft mitigated negative declaration completed and no public comments were received. Funding will be distributed over 3 years, beginning early this year. A brief overview of the project timeline. Measure W, which passed in 2018, is the foundation of this funding initiative. Measure W is a parcel tax of 2.5 cents per square foot of impermeable surface area, such as buildings, driveways, and concrete. The tax would be in place until voters choose to end it and will bring in $300 million per year. Starting in 2019, Los Angeles County cities were able to apply for Regional Safe Clean Water Program grant funding in an effort to construct stormwater projects and their studies in their jurisdictions. In January of 2020, the city manager authorized a contract with Craft Water Engineering to assist with the grant application for the Fink Minor Park Stormwater Capture Project. In January 2021, the contract was amended for additional meetings to ensure a more comprehensive approach. And then in April 2022, we entered into an agreement for project design services with Craft Water Engineering. In terms of design elements, we're planning for a 19-acre-foot underground stormwater infiltration vault to capture and manage runoff. Additionally, the project will feature new softball fields with natural turf, new field lights, and a green alley with permeable pavement and native plants. These improvements are aimed at reducing pollutants and promoting sustainability by capturing and treating stormwater. As part of this project, we'll also be renovating the basketball court. The court will be rotated and will include a full court plus one half court, providing more space and flexibility for recreational activities. The funding application was submitted in October of 2020 as part of the fiscal year 21-22 funding cycle. A total of $2.58 million has been allocated for design, and the Upper San Gabriel River Watershed Area Steering Committee has recommended $18.37 million for construction. The first funding installment of $6 million is expected early this year, with subsequent installments in the 2025-2026 fiscal year. Originally, we had requested artificial turf, but the decision was made to shift to all natural turf instead. The design now is 100% complete, and we're expected to begin the bidding process in fiscal year 2025-2026, once we receive about 2/3 of the funding. The Los Angeles County Flood Control District permit application is in process, and we anticipate receiving comments on it in a few months. And regarding the construction funding, the $18.37 million is allocated for the project over 3 years. Additional costs such as design revisions and permitting are covered within this current budget. Funding distribution is expected to begin this year, and the CEQA review has been completed with the mitigated negative declaration prepared. Public review revealed no comments, and we're moving forward with the approval process. City Council is expected to approve the mitigated negative declaration in February of this year, which will mark a key step towards the project's next phase. The overall sustainability goal remains focused on stormwater capture and maintaining natural turf. And this concludes my report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I have one. since it started way back in, 2018, 2019, 2020, an amount of money was allocated at that time with the cost structures and things that have grossly changed in the last 5 years. Is that amount of money still sufficient to do what is necessary, or is that going to be an issue?
Yeah, we just got cost estimates at the start of last year, or in the middle of the year, March, April. So the cost estimates are pretty up to date as it goes.
Right.
Knowing that it was going to grow. So like with Musco Lighting and with all that stuff that we're putting up, they have a pretty good range there. And then the underground is mainly like a parking garage for the water and that. So I think they're pretty much on. They knowing that it was a 3-year before they're getting money in, raised that in that.
So the estimates are
We're high at going in.
going in, right? So they potentially planned, and it hasn't overreached a number to where now all of a sudden we're like, uh-oh, we need another $2 to $3 million, and potentially the project stalls, or the city has to find alternative funds to support it. Okay. I know it's been on the docket for a long time. It's finally coming to fruition. So it'll be wonderful to see the transformation of Finkbeiner Park, over there, the use of that, how it is currently used, and what it will ultimately be, to coincide with what we've done at Pompeii, what we've done on all of our smaller parks and the bike park. I mean, I can't ask for anything better from a recreational aspect of what our community has to their disposal to use. So, again, it's very exciting to finally see after all the conversation.
I was looking at the diagram quickly, where you had the softball fields and the basketball and everything, and you're rotating the basketball field. So does that mean, are you making the grass part wider a little bit?
No,
Or is it
the
gonna be
footprint will stay the same. It's a little smaller on the southeast corner, mainly there to get our vehicles on and off. But the basketball courts will stay the same. We're from going east-west to now north-south. The court becomes skinnier because it was longer than that. So that's why we get to add the half court there. And that. So that will be like a little plaza first, and then the basketball court. The one thing that we did for soccer, it's a 12U field in the green. And then if you look real good, there's red underneath. Those are 2 10U fields.
I'm sorry, this is no longer going to be turf, right?
No.
This is grass.
Yes.
So
We
they
could paint
chalk
it
whatever
any
they
color,
want.
yes,
Yeah.
we could.
Okay.
But this is now all on turf,
Yeah.
not on dirt where we used to line it up. You had your corners where a lot of times in the brick
over
dust.
the softball fields.
Over the
Oh,
softball.
I see what you're saying.
So they did an overlay there to allow that. So if you soccer wanted to go 2 10U or 1 12U field.
Gotcha.
Are there lights at the basketball courts?
Yes, those will be lit too.
Okay, so will they be similar on the timers that are on the
Yes.
field? So
It'll
if
be
it's
all
up until
done
10
by Musco Control Link. And this would probably it will be all LED lights. So there'll be a lot better lighting. Those at Finkbeiner right now are original poles that are probably in this late 60s, early 70s that have been there. And then we have some Musco poles right behind each field on 2 and 4 feet, on numbers 2 and 4. But yeah, this will be state-of-the-art fields. They'll be fenced completely around, wrought iron fencing around, and then to make it level, they have to bring in some walls, some short walls, because the field always tilted towards Wabash. That whole Finkbeiner Park goes to Wabash, so that they will raise that side of it to make it more level.
What's the timeline to how long will the park be closed and under construction?
Between 12 and 18 months.
And I'm sure there's a plan for,
Yeah, we've talked about that with, with all the leagues. We will move them to Pompeii, where soccer might have to, just as when Pompeii was getting rebuilt, we moved football up and soccer moved somewhere else. We'll be doing that here and there of what sports. Baseball will be hit where they won't have those 2 nights, one each league. But other than that, soccer will have to, and with football, play on different nights down at Pompeii for their smaller fields.
does the high school still use the field for the girls softball or for the junior varsity team or?
No, they use it, yes, and they know about it too. But this is the first year they're practicing right now since we are rehabilitating Fink. We're growing grass right now, so it's dormant. So they are practicing down at Pompeii. The only thing we say is you can't have spikes, so that all their girls had to go and buy rubberized cleats. But they are practicing. Their freshmen and JV have been practicing down at Pompeii. And now Glendora, the high school soccer is down there right now playing also. They play on fields 1 and 3. They have their home games there instead of Citrus. And then we were the home for flag football, girls flag football also.
Right. The beauty of having such an amazing park at Pompeii to facilitate the use of other activities where necessary, so.
What was the reasoning behind going to natural turf?
The state did not want us to use turf. So when we sent it, when they were going in committee to get it approved,
Right.
it came back that we had to go to natural grass, which helps us because we were going to have to move Halloween because
Right.
we can't bring in our
Right.
rides and stuff on
Right.
that turf. So this allows now Halloween to stay there and other special events so that we don't have to move it to another facility.
And I don't know if you know, but how many gallons of water storage is going to be down there?
I don't have that in front of me. It was not that much. They had to make, when we started this 3 years ago or something, 3-4 years ago, when we started the committee, the underground facility was a lot larger. And now, after they did their calculations, it has reduced almost to half of what they had started. They were going to put it over almost the entire grass facility, and now it's mainly in the southwest corner where it's going to be.
And is it going to go back into the system, or is it just going to?
They don't know that they're hoping that it would go back either back into the wash or into the underground aquifers. But there's not a well that drains that, so that's why they were saying it was really not helping. That they'll probably just do it where it gets cleaned and then put it back in to the wash where it can go down and then get into another area, spreading grounds where it can help the aquifer where people are pumping from.
Thank you. And one last thing, I'm sorry. What's the earliest that ground's going to break?
I would say probably this time, maybe next year.
Okay.
They're quite still a ways from, they have to get they want 2 years of money before they
Or
start.
they start, okay.
Yeah, so they're
So it's a 3-year budget cycle to get money, and they're waiting for this is the first year, then the second. So it might not start till the middle of next year.
Yeah, they're
by that
hoping
time.
that end of 2025, they'll get the second installment, and that we can already have gone out to bid and be ready to go once we
Mid.
get that. It just depends.
All right, thank you.
I was going to ask, when you brought up, John, the idea of Halloween is going to get to stay, and then you mentioned that it couldn't be there if there was turf. My question before that even registered was, couldn't we do Halloween at Pompeii? But we can't because there's turf.
Yeah, and we have looked at it many times, even when it was grass. It's so broken up at Pompeii, the different fields, that it doesn't give us the best bang for our buck
Yeah.
compared to one field.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelsey. Can I get a motion?
I will motion to accept.
I will second.
So we have a motion made by Commissioner Louis Porche, seconded by Commissioner Kayumjian. I'll now conduct an oral roll call. Commissioner Kayumjian? Yes. Commissioner Louis Porche?
Yes.
Vice Chair Gerber?
Yes.
Chair Sally?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Commission and staff closing comments. At this time, I'd like to invite the commissioners to give a closing comment. Brittany, would you like to start us off?
Thank you, Chair. I wanted to just touch on what we all know is our recent experience with the fires and the winds, and just to put a prayer out there to all of the Glendora family and residents that were affected and that know of family that may have been affected by those tragedies. I did have some family that were affected in a way where their homes were burned down. I did have to go and rescue my grandma in the midst of it, and it was not anything that I'll ever forget. So just wanted to put that out there, and also to thank each of you for all of the work that you're doing behind the scenes, and the team here that you're doing behind the scenes. So thank you.
Great, and thank you. And along with those lines, I too want to give my best to all the frontline firefighters and city folks. And we're so lucky to live in a city like this, that we're capturing stormwater and trying to mitigate a lot of the disasters that could come down, just natural disasters that could happen at any time. So I wish everybody that has family members, I too have family members that are evacuated still, and so all of our thoughts and prayers are with all of our affected neighbors, and just be diligent and prepare your go bags. I'm getting my list ready and generators and things like that. So prepare and be diligent and enjoy our city. Thank you.
Can't touch any more upon what you guys said. Sentiments are the same. Kelsey, I wanted to say congratulations to you on your well-deserved award. Having been a part of this commission for close to 6 years now and working with you closely through the foundation, you are a tireless, hardworking, very dedicated person to this community, and you should be very proud of what you do whenever you leave the office, because you do make an impact. So congratulations on a job well done. Other than that, I hope that the rest of the year starts off with better promise. I'm looking forward to the springtime and all the fun activities that we have going forward with the city, and all the information that was passed along tonight. We have a lot to look forward to, so can't wait for all that to happen.
Thank you to all that presented. Thank you to Linda and Kelsey and Amanda. That was a good meeting. We had a lot of fun things to talk about. Makes me feel good to live in a city like this. So, anybody have any last comments? No? Then we will close the meeting. Oh, John, do you have any comments?
Yeah, just,
I'm sorry, John.
I think it closes tomorrow, the spot for our commission, and then for our commissioner, and then it will go to council. We'll do interviews in the next coming month.
Well, if you want me to report, I'd be happy to. So right now, I'm going to council the next meeting to fill the current vacancy, but I will be going back out in February to fill the upcoming terms that are going out. Yeah, so they're
Out the
completely
term?
different. Yes.
Got it.
Okay. So this term that's currently open is due to expire in 2027. So that's what we need to fill, that current vacancy, so that unexpired term that's currently open. So if you know anybody, I am accepting applications up until tomorrow, 5 o'clock.
Do you have any applications?
So
coming?
right now I have one that we have had 3 applicants on file. I reached out to all 3. Only one reached out and said they're interested. That's all I have right now, unless I get any more by tomorrow.
Tomorrow at 5.
Yes.
All right, guys. Start hitting that Rolodex.
Yeah.
And then just want to congratulate Kels. She is a huge part of our department. With budget, makes my job so much easier. and that with all our projects going on. And we've done a lot in the last couple of years, mainly because Kelsey does a good job of following through and make sure that we dot all our i's and cross all our t's. So congratulations.
All right, thanks, everybody. Did I forget anybody else? No. Going, all right. Then we will close the meeting at 7:15.